SQL Data Definition Language. The objectives of this lecture is for the user to be able to know how to create databases, how to create tables, then create index, alter table, so by adding columns or deleting columns or changing column names, then truncate table, drop index, drop table, and then also drop database. Now, how do we create a database in MySQL? So to create a database, we just type create database followed by the database name. So for example, create database and then my database. To make a database, the current or default database in MySQL, we also type use and then my database. So that is how we create databases in MySQL. Let's try that. So this is now my command prompt. I am now inside my SQL. So to create a database, we just type create database and then followed by the name of the database. Let's say my database. Oh, so it already exists. Wait, I'll first delete the database. Then I'm going to create again, create database and then my database. So you notice I have now created my database. And after that, we have to make the database your current database by typing use and then my database. So I'll be doing that again. Then use my database. So my database is now my current database. So let's proceed with our presentation. Then how do we create a table? To create a table in a database, we just type create table followed by the name of the table. So create table followed by the name of the table. And then open parentheses and close. So here we define all the columns. So by typing the column name followed by the data type. So this is a list. So each item is separated by comma. So here's an example. Create table person. So open. Here's the close parenthesis for that. And then inside we have the last name. That's the column name followed by the data type. So varchar 30, variable character. First name and then varchar 30. Address and then varchar 100. Then age integer with the length of 3. So in this example, a table name person is created. So that's the name of the table that is created. The table has 4 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 columns or fields. And the names of the fields are last name, first name, address, and age. The first 3 fields have a data type of varchar or variable character, the first 3 fields. And this field can accept characters or strings. So it can be character, strings, digits, so anything. And then the last field, age, is of integer type, so it can only accept digits with no fraction. And here are some of the common data types. So we have int, integer, small int, tiny int. So sometimes it depends on the database that you're using. So for MySQL, we usually use the int for integers. And then we also have decimal, numeric, or double. In MySQL, we can use decimal or double. I'm not sure with numeric, but sometimes these are also accepted because so that there will be some compatibility with other databases. So decimal hold numbers with fractions. So the maximum number of digits are specified in size, and the maximum number of digits to the right is specified in D. So this is where we specify the number or the size and the number of decimal places. Char size hold a fixed length string, can contain letters, numbers, and special characters. The fixed size is specified in parentheses, so the size is always fixed for this one. And the varchar is similar to char, but here holds a variable length string. Although we can also specify the maximum, we specify the maximum. And the same can contain letters, numbers, special characters, but it is stored in variable length. The maximum size is specified in parentheses. Then we also have date, and use holds a date value. And here are some other parameters that we can use in creating tables. We have the auto increment. So means the field value will automatically increase by 1. So usually used for a primary key, that is using an integer value. A primary key specifies that the field is a primary key, or it's a unique key that is used in identifying a record. Not null specifies that the field is a required field, so that means you should always place a value to that field. Default and then followed by the value specifies the default value if the field, so when not specify default value of the field rather. So when not specified, null will be the default value. Then here's another example to create a table. So this time we're adding some parameters. So create table followed by the name of the table, emp, open, and then emp no integer 6, auto increment primary key. And then ename varchar 50 not null. That means we should always place name. Department number integer 2 not null, so we should always place a department number. mgr integer 6, so we don't have not null here. That means this is optional. And if you don't specify a value, then the value will be automatically null. Hire date is a date field. Salary double with the default 0, and common double with no default value. Again, if you don't specify the default value, the automatic value is null. So right here, the automatic value is 0. So let's try this. So create table emp, open parentheses. So followed by the field, we have employee number. For example, integer, let's say 6. Auto increment primary key. We have ename varchar, let's say, I don't know the size I placed a while ago, but no, it doesn't matter, not null. Dep no integer, let's say 2, not null. Then we have mgr integer 6. We also have hire date, which is a date field. Salary double default 0, and then we have commission double. So close parenthesis, semicolon. So that's an example of creating a table. So if you type show tables, notice we have here now our table, and we can insert data. So insert into emp. So I'll specify only ename and dep no, and maybe hire date. Values. So I have here Pedro, department 1, hire date is, so date is enclosed in string 2022, February 22. Oh, yeah, sorry. Wrong spelling. Sorry about that. Then that's it. Enter. So select asterisk from M to check. So we have here now our record. You notice that for MGR, we didn't specify the value, so it is automatically null. Salary, we didn't specify the value, it is 0 because that's our definition. Salary, the default value is 0. For commission, it is null. Of course, we can specify the value at once. So, but that's not part of our lesson for today. So, I just showed you the effects of using default value or default parameters. So let's proceed. Create index. Indices are created in an existing table to locate rows more quickly and efficiently. It is possible to create an index on one or more columns of a table, and each index is given a name. The users cannot see the index. They are just used to speed up queries. Updating a table containing index makes more time than updating a table without. So this is because an indices also need an update. So it is good idea to create indices only on columns that are often used for search. So the format is create. We can specify unique, or that's optional. Then index, and then the name of the index, on followed by the name of the table, and then the column name that we will be using for the index. So here are examples. Create index, person index. So that's the name of the index. On person, that's the name of the table, and then last name here is the name of the field that will be used for the index. So here, create index, person index, on person, last name, descending. So usually we can also place descending, and sometimes these are this is an option especially for let's say dates. Let's say we want the latest to be the first on the list, so the latest date, so we can use descending for the dates. So create index, person index, on person here, so we use the combination of these two for our index, so we can combine fields for our index. So again, the first example creates an index of the table person. The name of the index is person index, and the index uses the field last name. The second example is similar, except that the index is in descending order. And the last example uses two fields, last name and first name. So let's try this. So create index followed by the name of the index. Let's say IDX M ename, on, and then the name of the table followed by the index. So that means I am creating an index using the employee name of the table. So this will make searches faster. If you're going to search by name, then it will be faster rather than having no index, especially on if we have a big number of rows or rows in our table. So that's how we create indices. Then we can also drop index. So let's say, for example, you created an index but you don't need the index anymore, and you can delete an existing index in a table with the drop index statement or the alter table statement. So syntax is alter table followed by the name of the table, and then drop index followed by the name of the index. So alter table persons, drop index, person index. So that's an example. So let's try that. So we created this name. So we have alter table and then the name of the table, M, and then drop index, the name of the index, with this IDX M ename. So that's how we delete or drop an index file. So that's it. We have now dropped the index file. Let's proceed. How do we alter table? So alter table statement is used to add or drop columns in an existing table, or also change or rename columns. So alter table, table name, add, then column name, data type after the column name. That's how we add. So again, alter table followed by the name of the table, add the name of the column that we'll be adding, and data type. And optionally, we can specify where the new column will be inserted. Alter table table name, drop column, and then a column name. So we can also delete or drop columns. Alter table, table name, change column to old column, then so change column, then the name of the old column, then the new column name, then followed by the data type. That's how we change. So let's try to let's demonstrate, or I think we have examples here. So to add a column, name city in the person table, alter table person, add then city varchar 30. So this is the new column. If we don't specify the position, let's say after something, after the field, then this field will be added on the last column. So it will be placed as the last column. Then we can drop columns. So to drop the address column, the person, so alter table person, drop column, and then the name of the column. And to rename or change the column, first name to given name, so alter table person, change column, first name, that's the old name, this will be the new name, and then maybe the new data type, or maybe even the size. So that's we change. So let's try this. So allow me now to add a column. So alter table M, add we add a new column, let's say position varchar 20 after mgr. So we specified also the location. So we're going to add the position with the data type varchar after mgr. So that's it. So let's try to check. Describe M. So you notice here now that we have a new column. So position. And we can also, let's say we can change that. So how do we change? Alter table, the name of the table, change the name of the field. So let's say position, and then let's change that to job, and maybe we can also change the size. So instead of position, we use the job, and we also change the size. So here we have to specify the old name followed by the new name, and then we specify the data type. Okay, so we describe M, or semicolon. So you notice instead of position, we have now job, and the size is changed from 20 to 30. We can also drop a column, so alter table M, drop column. So we have to specify the keyword column before the name of the column. Let's say job. So alter table M, drop column, and then the name of the column. So if we describe M, so you notice that the job column is no longer included in our M table. Truncate a table. What if we want to get rid of the data inside the table and not the table itself? We use a truncate table command and deletes only data inside the table. So truncate table, or truncate followed by the table name, like say truncate persons. How is it different from delete? Deleting records, all the records, will actually not reset your auto numbering. But with truncate, this will reset the table. So as if we have just created the table after the truncate. So let's try that. So show tables, truncate M, select asterisk from M, we don't have any more records. So all records were deleted. But if we insert into M, rename Depno Salcom values Pablo 12,100. No, I think I use salary, not sal. Sorry. So that's it. Select asterisk from M. You notice that employee number is again back to 1. Let's try to delete. So there are no more records. Let's try to add a new record. Notice now the employee number will start at the value 2. So that's the difference between truncate and delete. So some of the differences. Now, how do we drop a table? So to drop a table, we just type drop table followed by the name of the table. So let's try that. So show tables. So we have the F table. So we have drop table, and then M. So if we show tables, we don't have any more tables. Show databases, we still have our my database. Then how do we drop database? So drop database, then followed by the name of the database. So similar to drop table, drop, then the object, the type of the object, then the name of the object. So drop, then the name, the type of the object, followed by the name of the object. So here, to drop the database, we just type drop database followed by the name of the database, which is my database. So show databases to check. So you notice we don't have the my database anymore here. Okay, so in summary, we use the create database to create databases, create table followed by, and we define the columns to create tables, create indices, so that is to make search faster, alter table if you want to add, drop or change columns in our table, and also to delete index we use alter table. Truncate table is to delete data, or actually that is as if we are resetting the table, so back to 0. Drop table will delete the table, and drop database will delete the whole database. So thank you very much for viewing this video.